The title of this mini podcast is Who Can't You Learn From? I'm sure you, like me, have people in your life you'd call your favorite teachers. Sometimes you can't even explain why they're your favorites. You just know they are. Then, every once in a while, you start to pull it apart and ask yourself, what was it about that person that made such an impression on me? One example for me was a Catholic high school biology teacher named Rich. Back in the day, we were supposed to call our lay teachers by their last name, preceded by the word Mr. But this guy walked into class and told us to call him Rich. Okay, I liked him already. But there was something else about Rich that stuck with me. It was the way he taught. He'd go through the material like most teachers, but when it came time for a test, he had a different approach. He'd put every question that was going to be on the test up on the chalkboard and have us copy them down. Then we'd go home and research the answers. Now, at first glance, it might have seemed like he was making the test easier. He was, but he wasn't. He was making us learn, because when you had to go find the answers yourself, you learned a lot more about the subject than you would have by simply memorizing something for a test. I had other teachers, though, that I thought I couldn't learn from. And for me, that usually started with not liking the person. Somewhere along the way, though, I had convinced myself that if I didn't like you, I couldn't learn from you. That was my philosophy for more years than I care to admit. Until one day, the grasshopper chimed in with a simple thought. You can learn even from somebody you don't like. Well, that one stopped me. Because until then, I've been lumping the person together with the information. If I didn't like the person, I automatically discounted what they had to say. And by doing that, I was missing a lot. Here's a personal example. There's someone I'm Facebook friends with who is extremely skilled at what he does. I just can't warm up to the guy. In fact, almost everything he posts seems to accentuate the very things about him that I don't like. I can have a pretty visceral reaction to this person. But here's the funny part. I've learned quite a bit from him. He's accomplished, he's knowledgeable, and every once in a while he drops a real pearl of wisdom. I could have missed all that simply because I didn't like the messenger, and that would have been my loss. So maybe the question isn't, do I like this person? Maybe the better question is there something I can learn here? Because we can learn from just about everyone we meet. The problem is, sometimes we put up a wall of resistance that keeps us from separating the wheat from the chaff. And for those of you who are gluten-free, please feel free to substitute your own metaphor. The point is, we hinder our own learning when we decide in advance that there are certain people that we can't learn from. So if you want to learn more, maybe start by resisting less. You might be surprised by who turns out to be your teacher. All the best, John.